Ladies and gentlemen of the RNG Revolution, welcome to this week's episode of the RngCast. I forgot the number again. Sorry.
61?
61? You're right. I don't say the numbers anymore because why? I'll mess them up. I, as always, am Buster Knuckle. Joining me this week are...
It's the main man, the businessman 24. What's going on, everybody?
And this is your boy Raven.
N64 Josh.
He is the first person to ever not get an intro by me, and we talked about that, and that's why we did it. That's why he did it, and I love it.
This guy.
What's going on, guys? How's your weekend?
I am sore. I literally spent the last 6 hours with my homie back here. D Ninja, aka Black Guy Bronner. aka Black Guy Bronner. Moving stuff out of my old apartment and my brother's stuff out of our old apartment to my house and his new apartment. So my body is super sore right now. I'm also probably a little bit more, chiseled and buff as before, but it's cool.
Don't skip leg day.
Shut up. Tell me not to skip leg day. But I'm cool, man. Just having a little sip here.
Yeah, you never skip leg day. Everybody knows that.
Well, apparently, I've been told today that I have a very nice and defined calves. Good to know.
Keep up the good work.
Yeah.
Des, how you been, man?
I'm still awake. Someone
That's
shoot
good.
me.
That's good.
For 30 hours?
30. Bruh. Don't worry, you'll sleep soon.
I got word this morning. Which, as live listeners will know, things got a little delayed. Things happened. So I couldn't sleep or else I was going to miss recording.
Right. Well.
So I'm here. I'm going to be loopy. It's going to be a ride.
I'm going to cover that after Josh. How you been, man? How's your week?
Dude, I've been great, dude. Been grinding my way through the Age of Triumph book in Destiny. I'm at 91%. I streamed Destiny for 15 hours yesterday. Really? So yeah, I'm getting there. We're gonna finish this thing before we're gonna finish this fight, if you will, and got to get that 5,000 grimoire so I can get that emblem in Destiny 2. I'm at I'm probably at 48, 30 now. I'm guessing.
Wait, you only need 5 for that emblem?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I heard it was max.
Nah, 5,000.
Great, that means I got it easy.
Yeah. Yeah, Des, you have it.
You
for
get
sure
nothing
you have
from
it.
Max, so there you go.
Yeah, no, that's... Well, I mean, the one thing that made me mad was the fact that when certain PvP modes were available, I sucked at PvP, like Rumble. Mm-hmm. So there's no way I'm getting a perfect grimoire. I've abandoned all hope on that. But by God, I'm close.
Was that what you were searching for or reaching for, a perfect grimoire?
I would have. If I was a little better in PvP, I would have.
Interesting. What's the score for a perfect grimoire again?
Crap if I even know.
I've seen people with 5,000 grimoire, and I'm like, what?
I might have a.
They found all the ghosts.
Yeah, that's what it is.
I don't think I have found all the ghosts either. So after this show, Forest and Stone, Berg, carry me and let's tickle some ruins and find some ghosts.
There's 130 of them.
Yep.
What? Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
130 what?
Ghosts.
Thank you for that.
Serious?
Thank you for that, Josh. Thank you so much for that. That's what I wanted.
How many?
130.
What?
Yeah.
I mean, you had to. If you did any of your other books, you already had to have 50 on some of them.
Dude, I don't PvE, bruh.
Yeah. Biz does not PvE, but you got to think though. Also, all of the ghosts that they have, which is probably about at least a dozen, an expansion, roughly. Every major content update, they probably have from 6 to a dozen popping up here, there, and yonder. And then when they introduced private matches, all the PvP maps all of a sudden had ghosts to collect. Some of them 2 or 3.
Yeah. Time, I thought there were 30 ghosts. I'm like, okay, cool, sweet. I probably got 20 of them.
No.
What else is this?
No, there's not 30 ghosts. I don't even think there's.
What?
Yeah, there's every PvP.
Why?
Every PvP map has 2? or one at least.
One minimum.
Bannerfall has 3, I believe.
Yeah, Bannerfall has like 3.
Why?
Because
I mean,
where do you think the lore comes from that we used to speak on?
Right, they come from ghosts.
These ghosts
you know that,
are
right?
only.
there were cards on the internet.
No.
Yeah, exactly. That's only a paragraph at a time. The books of sorrow are like 40 Grimoire cards. That's 40 that's 40 like Grimoire.
That's 40 like 40.
Yeah, 4-0. That's a lot of them.
So I mean, yeah, to get these tales that Bungie has been weaving through the lore for the past 3 years, yeah, there's a lot of dead ghosts
It's
out
like a
there.
stinking movie.
Well, for the
Holy crap, bruh.
for the books of sorrow, it wasn't even ghosts. It was
Yeah, it was calcified fragments.
calcified
but
fragments.
Still,
And
that's like 40 though.
And
to tell
and one fragment wasn't even a whole episode of when Raven used to thematically tell this story in the Book of Sorrow in the way back in the early days of the RngCast. That was like 7 fragments apiece. That's real. That's me being kind of light. It's probably like what 10, 15 per episode, Raven.
I tried to do a full chapter an episode, I think.
That was like 3. That was like 5. That was like 7 or 10 fragments, right? Because they were like little snippets, like little sonnets.
Yeah. So I mean, it was about 10 fragments an episode, but yeah, I tried to get it like a full, chapter and. Ugh.
So forgive me in advance because I'm really not trying to throw shade, but the way it's going to come off is going to sound like shade. Okay, so I apologize in advance for what I'm about to say, but it's not shade. So people like Anon Pig collected the entire ghost since day one. People like lore nerds like him have all the ghosts, have all the fragments, and probably can quote everything because he's found all 130 ghosts, calcified fragments, Siva fragments, any fragments in between, and probably tickled some runes on top of that. Is that correct?
So is Munch. Munch has 2. Munch has collected every ghost.
Why?
So have I. My Grimoire score
Oh my
is
God.
5,570.
What are we doing, bud?
Yeah.
That is 1,000 more than I have. I'm not collecting those. Screw that.
I'm not collecting ghosts.
Boris and Berg is going to have to drag me kicking and screaming like a bitch. I'm sorry. Hold on, Josh.
Yeah, but
Are you a PvE or are you a PvP player?
both.
Okay. Do you have all the ghosts?
No, I have 89. No, I probably have 93 now.
Oh, God. How do I check where I get my...
Go
DestinyTracker.com.
to Destiny Ghost Hunter or DestinyDeadGhost.com. Put in your gamer tag and the system you play on.
I'm going to look that up right now. Okay, that's wrong. I need to find this out. Okay, Destiny Dead Ghost. Okay, cool. I need to find this out because I'm probably pathetic. I can't wait to find this out. And let's see. Does it give me a cumulative number?
Go to DestinyGhostHunter.com. It does.
Oh my God.
You
I don't. So
just got your back with all kinds of tools.
I don't. Okay, that is the wrong one. I just don't understand how people can sit there and collect it. That's just so. That's it. DestinyGhostHunter.net.
.net? Okay.
Wait, actually, okay, sure. It looks odd. It looks like a scam, but it's not.
It does. It looks like malware.
It says it seems like you've never been here before. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, it's...
Oh, I am pathetic. Oh my God.
Uh-oh.
Take a wild guess of how many ghosts I have out of 143.
45.
35. I'm pathetic.
Oh!
I am pathetic.
You have 35?
Yes. Guess who's not going ghost hunting? I give up.
I have 73.
You would need to find 90 ghosts.
Oh, nobody. No, you kiss my grits.
And that's going from... That's pretty much collecting from every patrol spot.
I have no ghost on Mars.
Because vanilla had most of the ghosts collectible from patrols.
God.
And then, like with every expansion, they started hiding them more in the missions.
Mm-hmm.
So that's every expansions and additions mission. And then going into private matches and loading every single PvP map.
Well, now
individually.
Now I have stuff to do in Destiny.
Dude, I have no ghosts on Mars. And my Grimoire score out of 945 is 225. Yep, I'm not going to worry about that no more. I'm just going to sit there and raid with my buddies and play PvP. I am not... Dude, I am so behind in the curve. This is ridiculous. I thought I was going to have maybe I have like 80, 70, 35. That's pathetic. I mean, do I even Destiny, bruh? Like, I got people playing this game for about 6 months. 6 months ago, probably got more ghosts than I do now. This is ridiculous. I'm almost embarrassed. Almost. Maybe we need to start a movement. Hashtag help Biz find ghosts.
The main man says he needs to go ghost hunting. Is that what
the main man says he needs ghost hunting now?
They got all the every one of those has a video you can watch, so you can figure out where they are.
He's not going to do that, Josh. I just want to let you know he's not going to do that.
Bergen Force is going to have to kick and scream. Drag me kicking and screaming. And and hearing this, they're like, "Oh, sure, we're going to get the ghost." I'm like, "Oh no."
Actually, though, legit, I would like to see him at least attempt to get the ghosts that are in the Moloch strike.
Why? Why that strike?
Because they're painful.
Like, in what way? Like,
they're the ghost. Imagine trying to climb Fellwinter's Peak.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how they hit
I can't
those ghosts. Yeah, that's how they hit those ghosts. There's 2 ghosts and almost impossible jumps, like attached to geometry.
Mm-hmm.
That who knows if they even originally intended
who's
to be climbable.
So you know how what was it to get the calcified the Siva fragment at the top of the Iron Banner Tower, the mountain? You know who got that for me? Forrest and Stone. She basically I share played with her. She took over, and with her controlling my character through share play, she got me at the top. So, Forrest and Stone, please help me with the geometry. She's my mountain Sherpa.
It's funny.
Yeah, I can't. I tried last night for probably while I was recording on the Destiny community. Let's see, Destiny Content Creator Radio, and while we were there, I was trying to climb to get that Siva fragment because it gives you a percentage in your book just for having that one. So I was like, all right, I got this. I don't got this. And I play a Titan, so I should be able to jump.
I'm not a jumper. The jumping parts of every raid is where I lose my mind every time.
Why, dude? That's probably the fun part, especially on a Warlock.
No. I'll go.
It's so fun.
I'll go. Go ahead, guys. Just pull me through. You won't get the chest. I don't give a fuck about the chest. I have said that several.
But you are a Titan. Like, it's easy on a Titan.
I don't.
It is, and
it's so easy. I can understand if you're a Warlock.
People. Yeah, it's easy for some people. Thank you, Josh. I appreciate you.
On a Titan, that's easy.
Actually, no. I'm sorry. Raid jumping puzzles are nothing compared to old school platformers. If you've played Mario, any of them. You can do a raid jumping puzzle.
Easy.
Yeah.
Easy.
Now the climb. The climb to Fellwinter is like another beast entirely because you're handling like awkward geometries. But raid jumping puzzles are very clean, clear, concise geometries.
Dude, which one do you struggle with the most?
Probably Kingsfall.
Yeah.
Which one, the ship or the dick wall?
The ship. The dick wall is easy. I can just...
The one ship, like third from last, where you're pretty much jumping under, like sliding under. You have to jump over and then over again before you go in the long sweep around.
Yep, that's exactly the one that gets me, because I get caught up on that little ledge, that little lip on the other side of the ship, and I always bust my shit, and then I freak out.
Legitimately, all you got to do is just jump a little earlier. just like a fraction of a second. Like a breath earlier.
When you want to jump. Yeah. Like when you're like, I think jump.
Yeah, don't hesitate. Just go ahead and jump because especially with like increased height.
Do it now.
Definitely want to run increased height on that. But yeah, it's easy peasy, man. Besides, if I could do it on a hunter without Bones of Ale, You could do it on a Titan with
Titan
increased
is
height.
easy, bro. Come on, man. That's. Can we get Buster help on how to jump these puzzles, man? I mean, come on. I can understand if you said running relic.
Okay,
Because
no, here's what you do. You buy a Switch, you get the newest Mario, you practice.
And I can say that because my girlfriend does not listen to the show because she does not want to know. She's like, I don't. You just record your show, babe. Have a great time. I can say this. I'm trying to find a Switch for her birthday, so I will definitely be playing the new Mario and the new Legends of Zelda.
she's not listening to this show.
She's not listening to the show.
Yeah, I think so.
No, she's not. Some of the shit I say, she is not.
Yeah, she's using it as ass later. Don't worry.
Writing it up like episode 22. What's up with these frozen gummy bears, motherfucker? That kind of shit.
Right. Yeah, I want a horse.
Yeah.
She's got a file like clips everything together.
I want a puppy, motherfucker. That's what she's gonna say to me one day.
No, she ain't asking no puppy, buddy.
You don't know.
But yeah, it's funny when you run relic though, like when you're torn through dimensions, I can see people struggling with that because the color scheme. Like I have astigmatism in my left eye, and so I'd imagine first if you're colorblind, you're probably screwed or in some way, shape, or form. Let alone having to see the platforms, because like as a warlock, I find myself having to overjump because I'll fall short of the platform. I'm like, I thought that was part of the platform. No, that's just the atmosphere. Dang it.
Yeah.
Considering when you're torn that it goes to kind of a monocolor like palette, you're pretty much okay if you're colorblind.
Yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't.
Oh,
really
but
it doesn't really mess you up.
I'm not colorblind.
It's the lighting. It's the lighting effects. That
Yeah,
mess you up.
like it's got this weird like I swear it's got this weird like fisheye thing going on. Like flaring the lens or something that's just weird. Mm-hmm. Or is it lensing to the... Yeah, gravitational lensing, not flaring. Jesus Christ. Yeah, anyhow. There's going to be a lot of that.
Yeah. Des is sleepy. But because he's... The reason why he's sleepy, and the reason why we're recording late, to get right back to where we were talking about, is I had to go be an adult and do real life stuff, and I went to go look at a house and put in a offer on a house, so...
Sweet business.
We might have a house. Thank you. No, not yet. When we move, that's when the congrats, but I appreciate it.
It's always fun, man. Josh, I'm guessing you live in a house?
Yeah, buying this place was probably the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. Almost
Really?
left us homeless. It was a complete and utter nightmare. Our banker was a complete tool bag. And
I was going to laugh until you said homeless, and I was like, okay, maybe this is not funny.
Yeah, it was brutal. I was like, because we had to like tell our landlord, hey, we're buying a place, and then like it almost got pulled out from under. It literally took 4 months.
Wow, really?
Yeah, that's how bad it was.
Dude, mine took a month.
As you watch my stress level go up just by saying
No,
that.
but dude, like, so I know we're like tangent here, but seriously, I mean, basically, all you really have to do is stay on top of what documents you need to sign and let everybody else do the work. If your numbers, your finances, everything checks out, it's really on the lender to do their job. I know for me, the struggle that I had was with our seller, who I guess was trying to do a billion things in one, and their finances was not right, and it cost us a lot of grief, and it made me an angry black guy. So that was the stressful part of it. But once... And you know what? Even when we were signing the documents, like even the real estate agents, hey, before you give him the keys, my client has a couple of questions. I'm like, bitch, I didn't sign the damn documents. Give me my key. This is my house now. She's gone. Give me my key. Yeah. And the seller just wanted to be sure that, the money is going to be clear. I'm like, that is not my problem. That's a big... Sweetie, give me my keys, please. It's time for me to go home. Thanks. With this new house. Thank you, please. Thank you. But I tell you, once it's done, then... This is not stressful. The real stress begins once you get the house, because then you got to figure out what else do I have to do to fix it up and make things my own. That's when it really stressful.
Yeah, our agent is a fucking badass. That's the only thing I can say about her. She's so cool. I mean that's what I pay her for, right? To make it easy, try to make it as easy for me as she can, because she has to talk to the seller's agent, because it's weird.
You're paying your agent.
Yeah. Well, I mean, she's going to get a cut of everything, so.
Yeah, but shouldn't be coming from me. It should be coming from this. Anyways, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah. paying your real estate agent. Who does that anymore?
So that's why Des is a sleepy Des. So it's my fault. I apologize. Moo.
Thanks, Buster.
It's just going to be a fun day. That's all. So,
so did we ask the guest questions? I'm curious to hear about Josh's answers.
Oh yeah,
yeah, we can.
On such side tangents.
Yeah. All right. Welcome to the RngCast. Side tangents galore. We have guest questions. How did you come up with your screen name? What's your favorite weapon in Destiny? Your favorite exotic in Destiny? And since you already said Titan, what class do you main? Subclass. Sorry.
Okay. Well, Striker's typically my favorite, just because it's easier to smash things and ask questions later. Let's see. Screen name. When I was trying to come up with trying to get all the branding right, I started a website called n64gaming.com, and I was like, well, I'll just be N64Josh. And my wife kind of podcasted with me a little bit, and she was N64Jen. And so we just and we picked that because that's the system we played when we were dating, and we played a lot of Mario Kart. So that was that's where that name came from. And I'm a huge Nintendo guy, always have been. And what was the other? Did I miss anything? What was
favorite exotic, and then your favorite weapon in Destiny?
Oh, favorite exotic. Probably does that have to be a weapon, or can it be a piece of armor?
It could be whatever.
I think
it's up to you.
Armamentarium is probably I love having 2 grenades all the time. Especially in Trials, 2 lightning nades really can just close off they can close something off real quick, or somebody trying to leave can get a door slammed in their face real quick with those lightning nades. So, and then. You say favorite weapon? Was that the other thing?
Yes.
Yep.
Blind Perdition is my favorite weapon by far. It feels like a battle rifle from Halo. And
Blind Perdition.
Is that what it's called? Did I say the right name?
No. You're right.
Yeah,
The Trials.
Interesting. Close rifles. Yeah.
Literally, that's what I'm going to get the most kills with in PvP. Hands down. I wanted Red Death to be so good, but it just never got there.
Well, yeah, beyond its vanilla appearance, Red Death just kind of
slowly faded into.
It was great when it could 2-burst.
Right.
I mean, it was fantastic. It could 2-burst people fairly consistently. You can get healed off of it. It was a great tool. Yeah. But then they took away its damage, and it's well.
Moving on. New weapons.
So before Blind Perdition, because I'd imagine that Blind Perdition was probably... have you played since year 1?
Yeah.
Okay, so being that Blind Perdition is probably one of the newer weapons, and I say that air quotes,
Yeah.
What was your previous favorite? I'm just curious.
I rocked a lot of Last Word. A lot of... It was the first... And I rocked the Last Word before it was cool. So...
Wait, when was that?
I was about to say, because Last Word has been cool to me since beta.
When was
that black and gold gun?
I'm just playing.
Beta?
Right. It was the first. Again, it goes back to a Halo thing for me. It was the first exotic I got, and it reminded me of the Halo 1 Magnum, and I was like, okay, I love this thing. Plus the blah 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 blah, that thing that's the best,
No, I agree with you, man. You know what's so funny? I hated that gun for about 2 years. And then, I got some advice for some people, and I watched some videos. And I challenged myself to actually play with it. And, dude, that became my favorite. Straight up. Once I got the hang of instead of fan firing, it just straight up tap, 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 tap. Mm-hmm. It was my bread and butter. Before, when snipers were, great again, and they had the economy and the ammo, and it was all fun times. It was just straight up pat, 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 pat. I rarely lost one-on-ones with my Last Word. I remember losing one-on-ones to one particular guy, but that's because he had a Last Word too, and he had high caliber rounds selected, and I had something different, and so when we're basically fighting each other, he's getting the stagger quicker than I would get in the stagger, and so he would. So I was like, I don't really lose too many one-on-ones with Last Word, but when I did, this guy knew what he was doing. Stay beastly, my friends.
Even though that was during a time when high caliber rounds was apparently broken on hand cannons and not functioning properly.
It was broken. It was perfect.
Uh-huh.
It was beautiful.
I'm going to give you the face.
No, I mean the fact that the high caliber rounds didn't actually work on hand cannons at the time. Because that's what they actually changed when they nerfed the high caliber rounds on pulse rifles. Is the fact that high cals really didn't work on hand cannons or scouts.
Nah, I worked on scouts. Mida was wrecking fools. That's why they had to take it off. I still mad.
Okay, yeah, no, definitely not scouts, but yeah, it was hand cannons then.
I'm still mad about it.
No, auto rifles.
It was
auto rifles
yeah.
had to fix high cals on. That's right.
Because back in the day, if you got a bullet hose with a high cal, you were just flinching everybody off the planet. But we have some stuff to be hype about because the beta starts in 3 days. You guys preload it?
Wait. You're hype about the beta now?
I'm not hype about it. It's just something to play. Some Destiny to play.
Wait. Were you not excited about? You're not excited?
I'm withholding my feelings until I put hands on.
Oh, okay. Well, I can tell you from hands on,
smart
it's
thing to do
amazing.
anyway.
64, please give us the whole spiel about your experience. I'm curious to hear it.
Like the whole reveal event, or just playing the game?
No, just playing the game. So I'm
hold on. Tell us the story about the reveal event too, because I'm pretty sure that had some pageantry, that had some feeling, maybe some smoke, sparklers. I don't know. I wasn't there. You were there.
You think you went to a rave party?
No, like Goldberg sparklers. That's what I was thinking.
Oh, sorry. I'm like, what?
Like, I showed up and was like, "Who's next?"
Yeah. That's what I was thinking.
I'll make it the short version. Basically, life was just going on as normal. I was watching everybody get their invites on Twitter, right? And I was like, "Oh, it's cool, good for them. It's great, Maybe next year, whatever, or next maybe Destiny 3 or whatever, And I literally was making breakfast for my family. And I get done, I go and get my phone, and Cosmo DM'd me on Twitter and was like, "Hey, can you make it?" I was like, "Make it to what?" He's like, to the reveal. Can you get down to California? I'm like, "I'll do everything I have to get there." And so thankfully for me, the co-host on the RngCast, Destinaut, he lives right there, like 40 minutes from the event center. So I just flew down, stayed with him, stayed for a couple extra days. We got there, it was like red carpet, right? And walk in, just like, it was awesome, guys. It was phenomenal. Sitting on the showroom floor, like when they announced everything for the first time, like when they did the reveal of the game, like it was just electric in there with everybody. I was Destinaut and I were sitting right next to most of the Destiny community podcast guys, and Pope Bear was like yelling, pretty much nonstop. He was so hyped for everything, and it was everybody was. Everybody was just was pumped, and so the reveal happened. Everybody's hyped. They're like, "All right, everybody go back here and you can play." It's in a big airplane hangar, and so Destinaut and I go back. And we're like, "Hey, can we play?" And they're like, "Yeah, did you check in?" Well, so we go, and they're like, okay, we'll go check in. We go check in. The guy's like, "Oh, you guys don't need to check in. You can just play." So we literally were the first 2 people to play. And apparently we were sitting at spots that were supposed to be for like the YouTubers that were going to be capturing content. But
anymore.
They were just like, "Go ahead and play." So we played our PvP match. I had to play as a Warlock. I got to tell you guys, the Warlock is he's not so bad now. He's not so bad.
The Warlock's the bee's knees.
He's I got to play my Titan, but it was on the PC. But I did the Warlock for the story and the strike because that was all that was available. And I have a feeling that there's going to be differences between the classes, but it's not going to be based on like how crappy their jump is or that kind of stuff. It's going to be more based on what their abilities are. which I think is a very good thing because and the jumping was more like a straight up jump versus like Titan skating and floofing and all that kind of stuff. Like it was just like I'm jumping up and pushing forward. I'm getting to where I need to get to. It's not using it as a means of getting somewhere faster or anything like that. So people that can't do that, be a little more even playing field. But gunplay reminded me a ton of Halo. Headshots felt way crispier, more like Halo 2 style, where it was like, how Halo 3 had you had to lead your shots, right? And that kind of felt like Destiny 1 is kind of like that in a way, a little bit with the headshots anyway. Whereas Halo 2, the way the coding was and everything, it was you hit the head, that's where the bullet goes. You aim, and that's kind of how this felt. It felt like headshots were more of a thing to me. Anyway, may not necessarily be the case to everybody, but headshots felt way crispy. I was using an auto rifle, and for a full game of PvP, I thought it was a pulse rifle because I pulsed the trigger, and it would only fire 2 or 3 rounds. I had that, and it was good at distance for getting headshots. I was 3 bursting and stuff with it. I was like, this is cool. I had the same gun in the story mission, and pulsed the trigger one too many times, and 4 bullets came out, and I went, I'm using an auto. I didn't even look. I didn't I didn't mess with anything. I just jumped in and started playing. So what that tells me is that auto rifles are going to be a viable option. Hopefully the other guns are going to be as well, and we're going to have a lot of primaries that are worth using and not be stuck in such a meta with so few choices. And I'm fingers crossed that that's the way it goes. And it's good. The new abilities, that healing ability with the Warlock, you hold down B on the Xbox controller. I think it's circle on PS4, but I don't really play PS4. So hold that down, and you get the Titan with that shield that pops out, or that little wall. You slide into a spot, pop that thing out, jump up, pop a few shots, go back down. There's going to be some serious chess matches in Destiny 2, and competitive gameplay is going to be it's going to be where it's at. I talked to Luke Smith at that reveal, and he's like, dude, we designed all these maps for 4v4. Competitive gameplay is on our minds, and it is what we want to see Destiny 2 become. And I gave him a hug and said thank you, and
did you squeeze him real tight?
I did. He was kind of sweaty. He had just been up. So yeah, but we still had to hug. So he looked exhausted. It's like, hey, I gotta go do 8 hours of interviews, so I'll catch up with you later. I was like, yeah, bud, have fun.
Sounds like fun. 8 hours of interviews. I mean, come on.
Yeah, but I mean, it. You hear a lot of people saying, "Oh, it looks like Destiny 1." Well, okay, thank you. It's still a sequel to Destiny. What were you expecting?
Wait, it's not. Okay. Wait, it's a sequel to Destiny.
You got no right. The counter. Am I only counter to that though? Also, coming to think of it. So I mean, how does COD explain themselves? I mean,
it's a different game, bro.
Advanced Warfare to Infinite Warfare. I mean,
there's different types of weapons, bro.
Yeah, I don't think they're built in a. They're not built around the same world, right? They're Black Ops is a wholly different storyline. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? It's all different storylines.
I get that, but I'm just saying, the overall visuals are all. It's you can tell when a Call of Duty pops on the screen anymore. At least I mean, me. I could be jaded and.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it, bro.
I'm sleepy. I could be exceptionally grumpy over crap I'm not normally grumpy about.
Grumpy does.
Yeah, I mean, but it looked good to me on the playing it on the PS4 Pros. I was like, hey, this is Destiny, but it's crispier, and the story missions. We don't really have anything very large, other than some ships that come in or fly in, right? That's kind of the most, where on that strike you've got these giant drills that are cutting out pieces. I mean, they aren't cutting out the earth, but that's what they're there doing. You've got to jump over them. I mean, this is far more it's a bigger, better Destiny, and there's more polish. And they know from the community that we're like, don't show us too much, right? And so, I mean, I think the stuff that we're seeing is kind of just the tip of the iceberg, and I really do think it's an iceberg that's going to blow all of us away.
So, can I ask you this question? Can you talk about a little bit your experience between the PC version and the PlayStation 4 Pro version? I know nobody wants to hear it but Biz, but I don't give a damn. Screw you.
Which is legit, because Biz is going to leave all of his friends on PlayStation and say, screw you all, and go to PC.
No, I'm not. I'm going to main 2 consoles.
I mean, look.
To start with.
If I end up on PC, I'll have 9 Titans. It'll be a real exciting time.
You said 9
to
Titans?
be able to play as 9 Titans.
Throw a little Hunter in there,
This
bro.
man.
No, here's the thing. Honestly, the PC feels like it's a different experience than the console. It feels like, for people that are like, Destiny 2 looks just like Destiny 1, play it on the PC. You will not say the same thing. From my understanding, they didn't even have everything set like to ultra or whatever. It was like half. But seeing Destiny at 60 frames with just better lighting, more shadows, more particle effects, all that kind of stuff, I was like, oh, this is the reason I wish that Destiny 2 was only coming out on the Xbox X and the PS4 Pro can't even keep up, unfortunately. But
shade.
I'm not.
One X doesn't have that much of difference of schematics now. Come on.
but I think it could have run it a little more like the PC. And the unfortunate thing is that the Destiny's still being held back by a last gen console at this point, and so after seeing it on the PC, you'll understand. You'll be like, oh, why can't the consoles look like this? Because it's pretty.
So you're telling the world to go get on PC and join you and I as friends, and we'll be living happily ever after in the game of Destiny.
I got to make the investment to the PC. Plus, all my friends in my clan are on the Xbox, so
See, friendship, Biz, friendship.
What are you saying about friendship?
We don't
that and a mouse and keyboard. I'm terrible with.
Yeah, but you play to get better, right? That's the whole you playing practice.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I'm not a PC player, but I'm learning. I mean, it's fun. It's fun. I mean, there's something relaxing about being able to lean back with your back against the chair. Your hands kind of straight out, so avoid the carpal tunnel and keep everything leveled, and just click, press.
Are you even familiar with carpal tunnel syndrome?
Yes, I am.
Are you sure?
Mm-hmm.
Because
you have to have support.
Actually, carpal tunnel is the leading cause of carpal tunnel syndrome is repetitive motions, much like tennis elbow, such as people that work in kitchens, fry cooks, and things like that. Holding your mice, yes, but I'm sorry, but I forget this because I don't use a mouse. I use a trackball.
Yeah, I mice, bro. I mice. See?
Then get a trackball. You avoid carpal tunnel.
Well, I don't suffer from it. I'm just saying, for those who do, please take care of yourself.
But then
trackballs are fine. For me personally, I don't like the idea of messing with my thumbs like this. Like, I just rather.
But you do it on a controller.
That's why I play less controller now. I play more PC.
Buster, you okay up there, bud? Like the face palm is so real.
This is what happens. I just let him go. Biz is going to talk about being on PC. Des is going to say how much better a trackball is. Biz is going to try to find reason to disagree. It's just what happens. I'm just so used to it now. I didn't want to sigh out loud, so I just was like, ugh. But
And then there's Buster making a whole bunch of shade up about how I'm talking about trackballs being better when my whole point, good sir, if you actually listen to me, because as Biz stated so long ago, nobody actually listens to Raven.
Yeah, nobody does that.
The point of being that there's a lot of things that a lot of people don't understand when it comes to swapping over to PC for D2. A lot of people don't understand what's the significance between 30 frames and 60 frames. And what is the significance between 30 frames and 60 frames?
Buttery smooth motion, baby.
But are you sure? Because legitimately, when it comes to aiming sensitivity, if you're within the mid-range of your aiming sensitivity, there's actually no change. Because I actually came from, just before Destiny, I came from The Last of Us, which on PS3 was a 30 frame a second third-person shooter. Or stealth team-based shooter, whatever the crap you wanted to call it, and however you want to subdivide it. But when it came over to PS4, there was actually an option to cap it at 30 or let it run at 60. And the one thing that I noticed, though, is that at least when it came down to aiming, like I said, if you're within like the bottom of sensitivity while you're at 30, or you're at the top of sensitivity while you're at 60, you're not going to be able to match that like in opposing frames per second. But yeah, they're actually emulatable, and it just becomes a visual. It becomes eye candy that people are going to have to spend a minimum of about $12,000 on, or not $12,000, $1,200. My bad.
I was about to say, damn.
Huge misspeak there. I was adding zeros in my mind. That shouldn't be.
I mean, what kind of PC you buying, bud? I mean,
it's made of Panda.
I play I play Rainbow Six Siege a lot. At least I'm trying to, because that's like the best way I can get into the first person shooter in preparation for D2. And so what I like about the 60 frames, I just feel more, and this is going to sound weird, and I promise you this is not like a placebo effect or anything, just because I haven't really talked to anybody or anyone about 60 frames per second, except for people crying, why is it not on console? Get a grip, bud. But I feel more immersed into the game. I actually feel like I'm in it more so, because the movement feels more natural to me, and it's more fluid. But this is just me speaking.
Yeah, that's placebo. Because you can actually get into anything if you're actually interested enough.
Well, I'm interested in Destiny, but I don't feel like I'm in the game.
Placebo.
What?
You literally latch on to something.
BCDebo?
But no, you literally latch on to one thing and say, oh, this is what I've been missing all my life. But no, I mean, how are people... By that logic, how could people get immersed in video games before high def quality and 60 frames a second? How could people get into an Atari game? How could people like really get delved into
imagination?
Right. Well, I understand that point, but what I'm saying is, okay, for example, in when I play Destiny, I'll give you a case in point. In Destiny, when I'm playing the game, I am not moving as much versus when I'm playing on PC or I'm playing Rainbow Six. I'm here ducking as if I'm actually friggin' moving side to side. It's crazy. My movement, I'm moving as if I'm moving with my body. Whereas in Destiny, I move, but not as much. It's not as apparent. And I don't know if it's because of maybe the sensitivity on PC is a little higher. And so when things jump, I jump. I don't know what it is, but I feel like I'm actually in the game more so than I am on Destiny. And I'm not saying it may be 60 frames per second, but it may not be. But just because of how fluid and how smooth the game feels, I'm actually like feel like I'm in it. And so like I'm constantly like ducking and dodging, like, hey fool, you're not shooting the damn gun, you're just clicking buttons. But again, this is my experience.
For years. But again, I don't need 60. I mean, that's me.
Like, what is 60
it
frames,
sounds
bro?
weird, but I mean, I don't know.
Well, I can't wait to see it on PC at 64. Can I just call you Josh? I'm gonna call you Josh. Let's call you Josh.
Call me whatever you want, man.
Just don't call you Shirley. Okay.
Just not Shirley.
Josh, by how you explain, I am curious to see how it looks on PC. And I'm actually pretty stoked about it because I'm going to get on both consoles. I thought about getting on Xbox, and that's not going to happen. But I'm not going to leave PlayStation at all because there's going to be exclusive content and a lot of friends that I have who I can raid with. But I want to play on PC, just doing a lot of more solo stuff. That's how I can see myself playing on PC until I get enough friends. I'll just be playing solo stuff on PC, whatever cases, then playing with my friends on console.
Now, with Destiny being the game it is, you're going to find PC friends.
So what I'm secretly hoping for is that some of my PlayStation friends, decide to get it on PC. Forrest and Berg, I'm looking at you guys.
Again, as I was trying to say before, though, that's investment.
Mm-hmm.
It is. I agree.
To actually have a machine. No, I don't need to take my time. I've actually done this research quite extensively. But a minimum cost that I've been able to put together to possibly, without any minimum recommended stats that have actually been released for Destiny 2, the cheapest that I've been able to build a machine, and that's just getting the parts, and that would require, of course, a person to have knowledge on assembling the pieces into a functioning computer, and that's roughly $1,000.
Really, I thought it'd be like $800. Okay,
between $800 and $1,200. Pretty much minimum. If you want to run it good, it's more closer to $1,000. The most expensive part of that. Right? Oh yeah, no, that's not monitor. That's not mouse and keyboard.
That's just straight up machine.
That's your tower.
Yeah, just the compy.
Yeah, that's just your tower, and most of that cost comes in an i7.
Yes, and I will recommend.
Most of that costs an i7.
I would definitely recommend, if you have the opportunity, you have the money, because I know some people they have their different views on I need to get 32 gigabytes RAM. You don't. Focus on the processor and the video card, and everything else you can
16.
upgrade. Yes, 16 definitely the minimum. You can get away with definitely can go with 16. But if you can get an i7 over an i5, get the i7. As far as the graphics card,
don't because I actually looked it up recently. The cheapest route is the 1080.
The cheapest.
Screw the 980. Get the GeForce 1080 because GeForce 980s are technically obsoleted and not really focused on anymore. The cheapest 980 is 3 times the price of your cheapest 1080 that I've been able to find.
Well, why won't you get a 1060 or 1050?
Oh, either way, but I'm just saying, definitely go to the 10s. Don't, because I know I've given you the advice before. Just drop down to a 980 because screw that. 980s are expensive because they were just that good. Go for the 10 series, 1050, 1060, 1080, whatever. Just go ahead.
My best internet buddy, and I say that jokingly, Burning Wing, is great at finding deals. So I'm sure that when another 1050 or 60 is on sale, he'll let us know in the chat room.
Yeah,
thanks, Burning Wing.
He actually is pretty good.
He's the coupon king.
Oh yeah,
he's the deal maker. Just wish his internet was a little better.
So guys, you want to talk about some of the videos and information we got? Some of the things we've seen this week from.
I want to talk about some information, and that's just the fact that y'all people are going to stop down talking ArcStrider like it ain't nothing.
Who's y'all people? Who you calling y'all people?
There's quite a few people that are saying that ArcStrider is the weakest of the newest things that they've introduced.
Isn't that just, wait? I've seen some tweets. Aren't they from hunters themselves?
Okay, I don't know. I've seen a few. I ain't calling no names. I ain't doing nothing. But I've seen the fact it's ArcStriders have the weakest kit for abilities. Okay, all right. For one, your Arc staff, whatever the crap you want to call it, Blade Dance 2.0, comes with an unlimited dodge. It does not consume a dodge charge while you're dodging. Way of the Wind, I believe, was the name of it that they've shown off everything of. After you make a dodge while in Arc, like I said, Arc Blade 2.0, your staff actually hits twice.
Okay.
And again, this is something that has an unlimited dodging mechanic. So whenever you want, your super can hit twice. And it's that's weak? And the fact that there's another ability within that same cluster that actually has you take less damage while you're dodging. I'm sorry? That's weak? With an unlimited dodge? That's weak?
Okay, but are people saying it's weak, or are they just not impressed that it's not a new and shiny?
No, I've seen the words. It's weak.
Okay.
I've seen those words.
I don't think that the super or the class itself is weak by any stretch of the imagination. If anything, I know I have said is that I find it to be, kind of dull in the sense that we kind of seen this before. So this is just an upgraded version of what we've experienced before. So it's not new. It's not different.
Oh, I get that. I get that.
But that's fine. I mean, Blade Dancer still scares the living shit out of me when I hear it. I'm like, shit. Because you can't gun him down one-on-one. It's not really that easy. I've tried it. No. It's really not that easy because they're unpredictable movements, and before you know it, he's in your face like, wow.
You got a team fire to take down a Blade Dancer still. I mean, Blade Dance, the one thing that made them weak ever since taking out a Hungering Blade like they did, the one thing that makes a Blade Dancer weak right now is team firing. But also thanks to some of this IGN footage that's been coming out and going around and such, RngStrider actually has a ranged attack that seems to consume its melee charge. But it does have a ranged attack, a fairly serious ranged attack. I don't know, because it kind of collided with the walls, so you couldn't really see an exact range going. But yeah, like I said, y'all can sleep on RngStrider all you want, but I'll be Sun Wukong all over quite a few corpses, quite happily. That's all.
Is there a translation for that?
Sun Wukong. Sorry, Wushu.
Are you ordering Chinese food right now?
The Monkey King.
I'm really hungry. Yeah.
Ew.
Really hungry right now. I can go for some food.
And sleep. So yeah, I personally think that maybe folks should not call the. Damn it! I'm about to call him RngStrider. RngStrider? Yes.
Strider. Yeah.
Yes.
Pole Dancer.
Strider. No, I'm gonna give it more
you can
respect.
call Pole Dancer all you want.
No, I don't do that. I never call it a pole dancer. I need to give it more respect.
Oh no, I'm saying anybody like I said, people that party with us. If I'm in the party, don't be afraid to call a pole dancer. That's fine. Just don't be on the other side of the pole.
Yeah, you're about to get hit with a big pole.
Oh.
That's what she said.
Private dancer, dancing for money. Any old music will do. That's going to happen
a lot.
I'm
a hunter for money.
Yeah.
But out of all the game footage that I've seen so far, I think I'm actually more impressed with the Sentinel.
Say it again.
That's pretty good.
First of all, hold on. You act like I didn't main Titan before.
I know.
I used to main Titan. I don't know.
For the first year and a half of Destiny's lifespan, you act like he wasn't attached.
The reason why I switched from Titan is because the melee really got the best of me. And if you see my kills, how I kill people, I'm a melee person, and so I need to be able to slap you from across the map. So I figured, well, let me take advantage of that. Oh, hi Warlock, how you doing, buddy? Cool. Shock your dumb ass from 10 feet. Anyways, but the Sentinel, the super looks I'm going to believe that's the first one that's going to get nerfed. It seems somewhat overpowered. Somewhat. It just... I saw it shut down a Dawnblade. I mean, it shuts shit down. You can toss it. You can basically charge with it. I think it's going to get nerfed. If out of any of the subclasses that's going to come out, that's going to be the first one to be nerfed. Remember where you heard it here first, folks. But it's so cool. It looks so good. So good.
Has anybody noticed that the optional bubble that comes out, the Defender actually had Armor of Light, which, I've said before, you can
catch your Warner Dawn. Yeah, you can still catch your Dawn.
No, that's what I'm saying. But it has Armor of Light. The in footage, it might be something that got changed, but in footage, the Sentinel cast Ward of Dawn and got an Armor of Light buff. After cast, which I said before, I don't know if it was on cast or if it was just in conversation, but I've said before, it's once I found out the Ward of Dawn was coming back, I was skeptical that if any of the enhancements to the Ward of Dawn might make it just a touch broken thanks to the Warlock's Rift.
Oh, so you're thinking more like the stacking.
Yeah, because, I mean, obviously, Armor of Light, you take less damage while you're in the bubble, and Warlock can drop a healing rift to keep your health
You're
up.
invincible. You're invincible, right? Yeah, you're damn invincible.
That
Jesus.
it doesn't sound great. I mean,
It sounds
I could
excellent.
Be
What do you
overreacting.
mean? Sounds excellent. It's going to be
This coming from the person that basically every time something gets nerfed, he switches off. Case in point, from Titan to Warlock. When Titans got nerfed and Warlock still had OP Stormcaller range.
Yeah, well, I still kept the Mida though, and that hurt me the most.
I don't see how, because like I said, I still use Mida fine.
Mida, I can't use anything but Mida. But yeah, as you were saying about, I think the set. Oh, nobody played Sentinel yet. Sorry, never mind.
It's only gonna last for a short time though. It's not like that stuff's gonna be like there constantly. Right, and we don't know what kind of perks and stuff are going to be able to allow that stuff to fill faster. But that bar for those new abilities, it's not like it's filling up at like a grenade pace. It's slower. So, I
know Reddit had some numbers attached to some of the cooldowns. Like again, that's like one of those things that Bungie's going to be able to change like at a whim. But I wanted to say the wall and the rift, where the wall had like a 40-second timer, the rift had like a 50-second timer, and a hunter's dodge had like sub 20 seconds, barely sub 20 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what they had listed because, like I said, that's what I guess they like counted out the timers to be. But like I said, that's not information I enjoy spreading.
Words?
God, I know, words, syllables, God. Because that's something that can actually change very fast is cooldown rates.
Yeah.
But Congressman... Sorry, go ahead, Josh.
No, I mean, and again, like I said, we don't know what kind of perks we're going to be having on certain pieces of armor and weapons and that kind of stuff that may really affect that. We don't know.
Yeah. There's still a lot of unknown information. Speaking of unknown information, sorry to make this jump yet again, but IGN footage, double lightning nades, WTF?
Yes, I saw that too. Sorry, I don't know why my eyes lit up like that, but
I know, right? Like kid at Christmas. Jesus, nice.
No, because I literally, that was one of the things that I noticed. There was a couple of things I noticed there. That was one of them. I was like, is Armamentarium coming back? Josh is like doing a happy dance inside.
I hope so.
That was my favorite exotic before they changed it in year 2.
I just couldn't let it go.
I hear you.
How did they change Armamentarium?
Especially when I got so I have a Titan. His name is Timmy the Tryhard Trials Titan. He's never been
what?
That's Timmy, and he's never he's never been adept. Right, he's been to the lighthouse in year 1, but he's never been since. And so he has none of the fancy stuff, like none of the ornaments, but he's got all the gear and the shader and everything. When I finally got the trial shader for the Armamentarium, I was like, I'm in love. Like, looked so good. So, but yeah, I mean, I've played with like Ignite has tried to get me, and we just got bad luck. Fallout plays and his girlfriend, we'd get 8 and 1 every time.
Jeez Louise.
Yeah, and so I mean, I've played with some ballers in the community, and we still like just had bad luck with Ignite. We had not only the teams were we'd run into a hard team every now and again, but then like the Xbox would lag me out, or we would something would happen. Like we don't know if it was somebody doing something on the other end or what, but like
foul play.
Like all of a sudden I'm on the menu and I'm like, I didn't even get an error code. I'm just on the menu. Like, what is this? This is different.
We don't like this guy. DDoS his ass. Yeah.
So, but yeah, so that's like Timmy the Tryhard Trials Titan. He's
Timmy the Tryhard.
That's funny.
Yeah, never been a death.
I love the alliteration though.
It's all about them teas, baby.
Oh, yeah.
All about teas.
So, anybody else? That's pretty much it. That's everything I
The
can
Nova
remember.
Bomb. Can someone explain to me? Okay.
It's
Nova
it's a
Bomb?
giant axiom bolt. That's what it looked like to me.
Yeah, I know, right?
So aesthetically, I thought it was cool until I realized how slow that shit moved, and I was like, okay. And
Well-
it tracked.
It moves. I'd say it just barely moves slower than your average Nova Bomb now. Just barely. From what I could tell. I mean, I'm not a Warlock main, so I could be wrong. Very easily. But it didn't seem that. I mean, I've heard people say it looks slow, but to me, it didn't seem as slow as what people were talking.
No, that thing was slow as hell, man. Trust me. I Nova Bomb. It seems slow. But here's what I'm thinking, right? Because right now in the Voidwalker tree, you can have a tracking Nova Bomb where it tracks, but no one's really used it because it didn't really track so well. And so I imagine that this was their way of kind of retooling the tracking option, because we don't know the subclass abilities yet. But I imagine one of them is going to be tracking. And so I would imagine this was, the tracking, Nova Bomb, and then there's a Lance Nova Bomb where it's just going to be faster, farther, harder, like explosion, Michael Bay. So I'd imagine that as Nova, we'll see it hopefully in the beta, but I'd imagine that you can choose between the two.
We'll see it in the beta.
Now, what about the maps that we've seen?
We've seen what, 2?
2? Endless Veil and
Oh,
Boswick?
the fact that freaking one of them, as I think I stated, is freaking Fellwinter's Peak.
Just renamed.
What? Actually, it's not legitimately Fellwinter's Peak. It's the town just outlying. I mean, it's still a place we can go and deal.
Where the Iron Lords are, right? Yeah.
It's where Ephrodite stands, basically.
Yeah, you can actually go to where Ephrodite stands and fight. And the gondola station from the beginning mission is a part of it.
It's like, but it was great because I was watching somebody's video. I'm wanting to say it was Datto, but I'm too tired to connect dots. But he actually, this person actually went through the areas that are in D1 and mimicked what he saw in the PvP footage and map and stuff, and actually showed comparisons of, oh yeah, this area is still there, now it's opened up here, and this area is a little more opened up. This is changed it's very minor changes actually in the map.
Cool.
Of this area. It's going to be a very familiar area that we're fighting in.
But that's good. That has plus and minuses, right? So from a Bungie perspective. Oh no! Well, because you're gonna have some people like, "Oh my God, Bungie, you're so lazy. You didn't even create new maps."
You're reusing assets again. Oh my God, Bungie, what's your issue? God.
But in all honesty, from Bungie's perspective, that's genius, because you can flip it as, we wanted to give you some familiarities in the D2 world, right? Spin it, marketing. But it's easy for them because it's not much tweaking they have to do, I would imagine, from a coding perspective, because they have the base there. Just maybe tweak a couple of things in here. Boom, boom, boom.
I can see that not being in coding wise. I can see that not being an issue from one expansion to another. But considering this is actually a different engine, I don't know. I mean, maybe it might still be easier, but I just don't know. I don't know enough about game design to be able to comfortably make a statement like that myself.
You know what I think? I think
Josh,
it was
yes,
it was a PlayStation 4 exclusive map that they're like, this is way too good. We're saving it for D2. That's
And they said that's a control map too, right? Because aren't the maps now based on what the game mode?
They're all 4v4 maps. It doesn't matter.
I guess you're right.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
they're holding out stuff.
I haven't heard that they're restricting the game modes anymore. But like I said, I don't see why they would, because with everything designed around 4v4, whether it's an objective game mode or not, just make it balanced towards an objective game mode, and it will still work in a Slayer map, as long as Clash is coming back. So I mean, I think it would be easier to balance and make maps around their objective modes.
I don't know. I mean, yes, but I don't know. I think there may be some strengths like this map is a little better for Control versus this map or whatever. But like, I don't think there'll be that much that differentiates between them. You know what I mean? I think they basically said, look, this is designed for 4v4. I think it doesn't matter what you're playing on it. It's gonna be good.
Yeah.
And what was it? Endless Veil was the other one. That one looked.
Something.
Yeah, that one looked pretty good. I mean, it was a like a temple-y map, I guess would be the best way to put it.
Temple-y?
Temple-y.
Like a map full of temples.
Like a temple. Yeah, that's what it felt like to me. Because there was like a shrine was one of the call-outs, and they were talking about how there's a basin underneath. I don't know. I haven't, like I said, haven't put hands on it yet. I can't. I reserve my judgment. I was actually expecting to see a lot of Twitter hate for the Iron Temp, the Vostok map. I was waiting for it, but I didn't see a lot, so I'm kind of impressed. I'm happy about that. But they did change control as well, and they went over that that there only needs to be one player on the point to cap it. It doesn't matter if you have the whole team; it only caps it just as fast. So they said that stops people from clumping up unnecessarily, which I'm okay with. A and C start pre-capped; they're already on the board. You don't have to waste time. And the flag is transparent. You can see through the flag now. It doesn't block your view, which is
that's good.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how I feel about like, because I don't know. Sometimes I think, at least in an objective game mode, with some players, much like Biz, that say screw the objective. It's like I feel like the actual capping faster with more people has led to a little more objective play. So, but I don't dislike that change either, because yes, tactically it is going to be much better not to have large clumps of people, but at the same time, how else am I going to get like my triple and like quad downs with like plays and stuff? I mean,
gotta try harder.
Control makes it so easy.
Gotta try harder.
I know, right?
Gotta try harder. Just gotta do it.
Just do it.
Oh, Josh,
it's gonna push the action. I mean, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I mean, it's gonna push the action. Like it's, and that's what they want, right? They don't necessarily. They want you playing like that chess match. Like, hey, I'm gonna go cap. You guys go around back. You guys close off this area.
Christ.
That kind of stuff. Like, I mean, we've been playing this. I mean. Think about some of the maps in Destiny 1, like on Control. Like, I love sniping. I've always loved sniping since Halo days. So it's like, okay, if we're given this map and we're spawning C, okay, I'm running right here. I'm pulling my sniper, and I'm going to hardscope B until, for the first, like, minute and a half or whatever. And then, boom, okay, somebody has it. Now I'm going to move on, right? Like, I feel like that kind of stuff may happen, but it may not be quite as much. Like, there's going to be more of a... just a more of an urgency to get to the next, to get to the area and hold down B, and then, smart play on a control match is to hold 2 of the 3. Like, there's not really any reason to push that third one. So I mean, it could quickly turn into like an attack and defend game mode very, very quick, because a lot of times it seems like in Destiny 1, everybody's just kind of just roaming almost. Like they're always roaming to the next one. There's not a lot of, at least in the games I played, there's not a lot of just people like, hey, let's hold this down. Unless you're a coordinated team and you play a little more competitively. With 6s, it's almost impossible. Like, how do you coordinate that many people? Because you're gonna have your casuals that are in there like, hey, I'm just sniping back here because I'm gonna end up dying if I don't, and I want to be able to have fun. That kind of thing. So, anyway, what were you gonna ask, bud?
Oh, when you played as a striker, right? Because we've seen some footage of the striker, and yes, the aerial, the circumference, the area of the slam is smaller. I'm just curious about the sounds.
Everything.
Go ahead.
That I can recall, it sounded the same. The funniest thing that happened, or that I was talking to Geek Chick, and she was like, I watched this Titan like slam, and he totally whiffed it, and I was like, ha! And then he slammed again and crushed me because it was so early on. Nobody even knew that it was a roaming super at that point. Which was like, oh man, like he just ruined me. So, but yeah, it sounded good. The only thing is, I played the Titan on the PC, and so like to do your super, you had to hit like F or something like that. I can't remember exactly what it was, but like it was I can't remember exactly, but so I would hit it once and then hit it again and nothing was happening. Well, the way it works is you trigger your super on your Titan with your two, like it would be your two bumpers on the controller, but then your melee is what makes you slam the second time.
Oh,
and so that it really threw me off, like, because I'm like, man, I'm hitting my super again and again to try to fire it, but really the reality is it becomes like a golden gun where it's like you pop it and then you pull your trigger to fire the rest of your rounds, like, so it makes sense. But having never done it, my natural like instinct was to keep hitting the super button because that's just that's how the Titan slams, So I'm running around getting killed by Cabal or whatever. Like, Josh confirms casuals are the worst.
Converse always having to say that. They did say though that there's a power play mechanic that if you do have a triple cap, you will get more points. So that kind
just
of
like the triple cap now.
Yeah, now. So
but also I would like my entire statements about some of the changes to control though. I had just realized very seconds after I was actually still thinking of sixes in my head. I'm sorry, that was my bad. But yeah, for the change to fours, I can definitely see that definitely makes more sense to where actually you don't want to clutter everyone because that can actually have a very extreme weakness with smaller team builds. So, like I said, I was still thinking bigger teams, and then like I said, shortly, I think Josh, as you mentioned, it's with fours, and it's like, oh my god, it's fours.
Yeah, right.
You gotta forgive Des, he's sleepy.
No, but I mean that really does change things because it's like, it's now like, hey, one guy cap, three guys go push, also
it'll make sense it's going to create also some very interesting plays, like how people approach, because I mean with A and C pre-capped, I mean it's pretty much the way it is in Destiny now, because it's pretty much a fight over B to start with, but it's going to be interesting on how the approach goes, considering you normally know around and about of how people approach to get to B, but I mean without any kind of real rush or anything, and with counterplay possibilities, it's going to be interesting to see how control plays just in general. Like I said, with smaller teams though, I just have to keep in mind it's 4v4. It's going to be 4v4.
Right.
Smaller.
And honestly, I think the one of the biggest things for me, I feel like something that's been I don't know if it's been lost and it could just be me. But I mean, when we look back on games like Halo, and mainly Halo, we have maps that we're super fond of, right? Blood Gulch was an amazing map, that everybody loved to play on. Hang 'em High, they were maps that would get remade and put into other Halos because they were so good. And I feel like with a lot of first-person shooters these days, we don't seem to get that. There's not a big variety between maps that really separate them from each other. And I hope in Destiny 2 we can kind of get some of that back, where it's like, oh man, this map is so amazing. I don't. Do you guys agree with that? Do you see that being the case? I mean, is there maps in Destiny 1 that you like so much you hope they come back? And is
Rusted Lands?
Okay,
I'll get hate mail for mine, but Cathedral of Dusk.
And he's triggered.
Yeah, I know, right? Like I said, I'll get hate mail for it.
What?
But legitimately.
What?
Cathedral. I will stick by my word. The Cathedral of Dusk allows for literally any
play style
engagement space at all. It's got snipe lanes upon snipe lanes. It's still got narrow corridors for your shotgun play, and it's got areas for everything in between. It's huge. It's a pain in the ass to get across.
For 6v6, let alone a 4v4.
But again, every engagement range is there. Every single one.
I just made my skin crawl.
I mean, it's fine.
Oh my god.
Triggered.
No, right?
Buster, is yours Anomaly?
Asylum.
I get, yeah.
That's almost a 4v4 map. It's perfect size.
Asylum is a really good map too. That'll be my next one. Yeah, but I love me some good old Rusty Lands.
Josh, what's yours?
That's the thing. I don't feel like I really have one. Like, I don't feel like there's this, like, oh man. What I think it comes down to, I think it comes down to the fact that Halo had vehicles, and that's what made a lot of those memories so great. That it was more than just boots on the ground. And I think that's what did it for me. You know, for me to like really put my finger on it, like why don't I have like this nostalgia or anything towards any of these other maps in these games? And I'm wondering if it's because you add variety to each time you get into a combat situation when you have vehicles and things like that. Like, and I'm talking like warthogs and stuff, right? Where you've got people driving you around. You've got, I mean, dude, I got memories in Halo 2, like some guy standing at the base sniping, and I'm driving a warthog, and I've got this guy's cousin on the back on the gunner, and he lines up a shot right as I drive in front, and he shoots his cousin right off the back of my warthog, and we're all on the same team, right? Like his cousin's screaming at him because he's pissed he got betrayed, but we're all dying laughing because it's like the funniest thing that could possibly happen, right? Like the chances of it, and those are the kind of things that I feel like are almost missing in the first person shooters these days, you know, like, and so that may be the reason. And there's just the lack of variety. It's all of the same thing. And it's not like a bad thing, but I think the lack of vehicles can hurt. But I also know that's not super competitive, right? That's that's what, I mean, even Deej talks about, like, I loved being the gunner back in the day on Halo, right? I mean, that was how he felt like he could be a part of the team, right? Yeah, how he could contribute. So I don't know. I hope we see something like that come back. But as far as Destiny goes, you know, I like Bannerfall to me is a fairly decent map. Like I don't hate it.
Bannerfall's good too.
I like it.
But it's not. Again, it's not like I look at like Hang 'em High. And I'm like, oh man, like there was so many, like you had guys way up in the air, and like you had to, like, do I risk going for the sniper because there's going to be everybody looking at me with magnums, you know what I mean? Like there was a lot of risk reward, that kind of stuff. So,
I mean, do you think that Vostok is their attempt to do that? To be
it kind of seems like it a little bit. Like, just from the initial look, I'm like, you know what? Like I think I think we may get some of that back, you know. Even the map I played, I don't remember the name of it at the reveal. Like it was like, man, I feel like it just felt a little more memorable, and I can't necessarily put my finger on it, but it was like you had a little more verticality to it, and not like massive verticality, just like small like hills that you'd have to go up just a little bit, you know. Well, that changes engagements quite a bit because now you're not only you're not just trying to get the shot, you're trying to aim up to get the shot, right? Or aim down, vice versa, or, you know. And there were some cool corridors too, where it's like you could run to a spot and like look out over like a counter, but you couldn't jump out that window. You could just fire out of it, but then you could go to the left or the right and come out and hit the control point or whatever that you were trying to capture. So it just feels a little more unique. And obviously, I mean, we've seen one map, and I've seen two maps, or three maps, I guess technically, but I just feel like there's been, I almost feel like there's just a little more, because of the focus. I feel like they have, they just have a better understanding of how these maps need to be made to play with 4v4, and because of that, I think we may see more memorable maps that way. You know, which I know it's like the opposite of Halo, but there was just something magic about Halo. I don't know that anything's ever going to capture that again, at least in my mind.
Wow.
A lot of people who played Halo feel the same way. It's like me in studio or firing range in Black Ops. To me, like that's one of the memorable maps for me. Or Hijacked, shooting on a ship. Like it's just one of those. If anybody ever asked me, like, hey, what's some of your favorite maps in a shooter? I'd say studio / firing range and Hijacked. It's just I also that was my first time I picked up a shooter was in Black Ops 2. So it's that cotton candy moment. You know what I mean? Like the first time a kid you ever see a kid eat cotton candy for the first time? It blows their fucking mind. Watch it. It's amazing. But that's what I mean.
Okay. Let me go get a kid real quick. I'm gonna have one.
Go get a kid.
And I'll take care on some non-creeper shit. Yeah.
Are you allowed in your schools?
Well, I have nieces and nephews, so and a kid myself. So it's one of those. You know, I've seen things like that. So my
where did it go? Oh my god!
My godson is my nephew. My godson / nephew is 3, and he had cotton candy for the first time. And watching his face, like. I was like, that's the moment right there. Yeah.
Should have put it on YouTube. Then you could just give him the link, bro. Yeah. Get the ad revenue, all that stuff.
You're trying to monetize off of. This guy's a business, man.
Hey, buddy, do you like that? You like cotton candy? You're gonna make Uncle Buster a lot of money. You're right.
That sounds really terrible.
Yeah, right.
Don't do that again.
Never again.
Yeah, I would not use that voice, and definitely don't whisper that because it get even more creepy.
So we have a couple days, man.
You're not stoked at all. You're just like reserved, and we'll see what happens with the beta.
I also know I have to work extremely, a lot more to get the money up because of this house. So my beta time is pretty gone. I might have 3 hours next week.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
But at the very least, this is a wiser Buster going in with eyes unclouded by hate.
Or affection.
5 brownie points to anyone that gets that reference.
Or just a convenient excuse.
No, or affection because I don't see Destiny in that rose-colored,
So are you a realist or a pessimist?
I'm an optimist.
But you're not optimistic about D2?
No, I'm not.
So what are you?
I'm opportunistic. How about that?
What does that mean?
The glass isn't half full or half empty. Oh, it's thanks for the water. Boom.
Basically, okay, Buster will have you believe that he is heavily reserved, but at the same time, as soon as he hops on, and as long as everything aligns,
my freaking god!
It's going to be the return of Buster Knuckleback in Destiny.
I agree.
If things aren't magnificent or okay, then I can see him maybe getting turned off, but it's going to have to be like something kind of like breaking, like something really breaking, which I don't think is going to happen.
Hey, let's do a recap of.
But that's my personal opinion.
I got 2 letters and 2 numbers for you.
That's
OB54. I'm knuckles deep into that into waiting for OB54 to come out.
Okay.
Josh, Raven, let's recap what D2 has to offer that will get Buster back in it. Defender class, a revamped Defender class called the Sentinel, with those are a sword. No, lied, shield. Say that twice as fast. Can't words. Buster, Des. Okay. Those are shields.
Now who can't talk? It was me last week. It's you this week.
Yeah, because I'm trying to recap where you're going to be hyped. So a Sentinel that's going to be able to cast a bow and throw a shield. I'm calling this now. It's going to be an auto rifle meta. It's going to be. Because all of the auto rifles seem to be pretty good that they showed so far, and the best one going to be in the game is going to be the Sweet Business.
Okay, but why are you trying to call meta from beta information?
I have just had this feeling.
No.
Why?
Why are you trying to call a meta from beta information, man?
Okay.
Come on now.
Okay. Let me do this. Let me do it this way.
Come on now.
Made Man says auto rifle is going to be the new meta. You heard it here.
I mean, either way. I mean, I'm sorry, but it's still basically ignorant to say what a meta is entirely going to be off of beta information.
I'm speculating. I'm forecasting.
A day one patch can ruin your entire thing.
Yep.
I know.
Because it was the day one patch that made hand cannons for Destiny 1 that made hand cannons the aerial go-to for the entirety of Destiny 1.
I understand that, but as a person that likes to forecast and stuff, I can forecast, and I'm forecasting that auto rifles are going to be the meta. I could be totally wrong, but that's fine. I don't have any, ladies and gentlemen, I do not have any solid information or sources that will allow me to make that statement otherwise true. This is purely off of my guess, and I could be right, I could be wrong, but I'm forecasting. It's like the stock market. You don't know what's
not a
really
forecast.
gonna happen.
No, that's not a forecast.
Why not?
You're going off of a gut feeling that oh my god, auto rifles. Everyone's saying they're strong right now from beta.
No. I didn't say that. I have this feeling that it's going to be.
Oh come on, as if that's not where your feeling is coming from. Come on now, come clean.
Mean?
Come on, come clean.
Hey, the beta meta maybe auto rifle. There
Okay. Fair enough. In 3 days, I will give you that the auto rifles will probably be the meta. I'll give you that because that's beta on beta. But anything
from what I played, the first thought I had was that the auto rifles are back. Like, I don't know that they'll necessarily. My hope is that every primary is the meta, that it's not just one gun. Like I think that's going to be the case. I don't think we're going to get stuck in this like 2-gun meta anymore. I think because primaries are going to be the thing they should have been in Destiny 1. I firmly believe. I trust in Bungie to make it.
Now, I mean, I'll agree to the fact that I will not mind auto rifles being back as a viable choice, but like I said, it's just not a wise course of action to say that this is going to be a thing when the game comes out. When that's a thing that is most like damage numbers, time to kills, strengths, potentials, cooldown timers, all of these things. I mean, friggin' Bungie has taught us in past patches, and they're telling us now for this, it's going to be even easier for them to change things. And while I do hope, like I said, the auto rifles will have a place, at the same time, I know that we're still going to have a limited meta. Just because, like the information that, roles aren't going to be random. We're going to have a limited meta for an entirely different reason, mind you. But there's still going to be a limited meta out there.
Oh yeah, definitely. As a matter of fact, I think going back to Josh's point, he's saying that there's going to be multiple weapons that could possibly be, when I quote meta. I also believe that you're going to have much more choices between weapons within the archetypes. At least I hope so. Like, I don't want it to be a thing of like, oh, and I'm just going to just throw this out. Sweet Business is just the best auto rifle in the game. I mean, I'm secretly hoping so, but nevertheless, I hope it's Sweet Business. I hope in that archetype. I hope it's something else, another archetype, which is also competitive. I am hoping that within each archetype, there's competitive meta weapons so that people have choice. Bungie stressed, we want people to have choice. Use different things. This is why they did away with the special, which I still don't know how I feel about that in the power slot, but that's a whole different ballgame. But I really think that, with Bungie learning, the pains of having to go through weapon balancings and patches, that, they're looking, that's hence why they've redesigned their whole entire system so that, they can basically go within the gun itself. It's like, yeah, but you're OP, I got to tweak you, versus, we got to screw up with the whole class of weapons, and then something might be broken and unusable. Some might just be super powered now. Thanks a lot. But nevertheless, I think that, with Bungie learning their lessons, they're going to have a bunch of different weapons where that's going to be considered the bee's knees, the cat's pajamas, the best thing since sliced Wonder Bread with butter. So that's my 2 cents.
The butter on a Pop-Tart of guns? Is that what you're trying to say?
I don't do that, bud.
You've never had it. So freaking good.
Butter, no, that sounds like a heart attack.
But sometimes
Josh, do you like butter on
your
Pop-Tarts?
delicious.
No, I don't really like Pop-Tarts all that much.
Is it unsalted or salted butter, Buster? I don't even know.
It's butter.
What does that mean? Wait. Is it butter or is it margarine?
It's butter. Margarine. That's plastic. I'm assuming salty because salt and sweet kind of plays well together. I don't know.
You say margarine is plastic? Margarine is oil.
Wow.
Literally, margarine is oil.
I don't use it.
I was going to say something, but you got me beat.
Actually, technically, more often than not, I use coconut oil, but whatever. Biz, you put some stuff in our Discord, and then I asked you a question, and you said you're gonna bring it up on the show. You played some Paladins
on PC.
On PC, not surprised. None of us were surprised. Yeah, exactly. What would we be? You played Victor. You played the damage, which we all knew. That's what we actually suggested last week. Josh, to bring you up to date, I am a Paladins. If I could use a wrestling term, mark. I love Paladins a lot.
Okay.
I don't like Overwatch, but everybody says Paladins and Overwatch are like next door neighbors, cousins, best friends.
I love Overwatch, so I'm tracking with you.
I guess it's the same thing. Biz doesn't understand why I don't like Overwatch and I like Paladins. I said I like the characters. He said the characters have, there's one on one and one on the other. There's the Makoa. There's Roadhog.
I played with Victor, and holy crap! The only thing that made him different from Soldier was the fact that he had a grenade that he tossed, and his super was basically like, essentially it's a tracking super, right? But it's more bombs versus firing the guns. But let me break down why I played on PC. I hate Overwatch on PlayStation. Okay. I don't know what is it, but it feels better to me on PC. For some reason, I don't know what it is. But so I figured I need a more You can laugh all you want. I am. I
am. Trust me, I will.
I don't know what it is about console. I get super frustrated. I'm throwing the controller, but I'm much more relaxed when I play on PC. Haven't figured it out yet, but when I do, I'll get back to you. And so I figured,
no, you won't.
I will. I'll get back to you so you can stop laughing. But you keep laughing regardless. But I played it on PC because I figured that would be the closest experience I'll have. And so I don't understand because they're more or less the same game. The issues that I found with Paladins are a little slight, right? A little different. So with Victor, right, he has a sprint. Mm-hmm. But I noticed that I have to actually start running before I activate said sprint. Versus moving. Right. Versus in Overwatch, when Soldier 76 does this, you can hold the sprint before you can move, and he'll automatically start sprinting. So that was the first.
Oh yeah, but you're playing on PC because I was about to say actually on console, you can activate Victor's sprint from the L3, unlike Overwatch for Soldier, which you have to use the ability spot for Soldier. Because I noticed that during the free weekend. But yeah, but if you're on PCs, that's probably completely different.
So that was the first thing I noticed because I was like, at first I was saying to myself, is there a cooldown on the sprint ability? That's stupid. And I changed it. I rebinded the keys to match what I did in Overwatch so that it's basically like second nature to me. So that was the first thing I picked up. Like, okay, I'm not sprinting and my sprint locked. And I realized, no, I have to actually be moving. Plus, you're shaking your head no. Like,
there's no sprint lock. There's only one character that can sprint. So,
but that's the thing. Like, that was the first thing. Not sprint lock. I should say. I say a cooldown on the sprint because because the way I play with Soldier, I'm immediately start sprinting, and so I had to move and then sprint. So that was the first thing I noticed that drove me nuts, drove me batshit crazy. Question: what's with the horses?
Okay. All right. A history lesson, like a quick history lesson behind Paladins is sometime around OB15, or actually was that closed beta at that point in time? Either way, around build 15, Paladins went through some drastic changes to become what it is today. Legitimately, when Paladins closed beta first started, it was more similar to Battleborn. It was literally an FPS MOBA. So the horses were used to get around the map. So the horses now are the remnants of that, or like an artifact of that time, that's allowing you to get to objective or around objective easier.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So yeah.
So I'll just say this: outside of making high res, that's what make Paladins.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. So apart from high res, basically adding their own flavor to the game to differentiate themselves from Overwatch, I find the horses utterly useless to me.
Oh yeah, for the most part they are, but at the same time, it's just their way of getting you to, like I said, it's their way of getting you to objective, and the fact that they're just still around. They're like sparrows in Destiny.
It
really.
did nothing for me because as soon as you hit the wrong button, guess what? You're out of it.
Oh yeah, you're off the horse. Yeah.
So it was like it literally did nothing. I literally sit there and said, and I quote, "This shit makes no fucking sense." End quote.
Yeah.
It did not do nothing. I was actually pissed off about it. I'm like, well, I'm Victor. I'm gonna run around. I'll get there faster than anybody in the damn map anyway, unless they have some type of teleport function. So screw that noise. The control points, super small, which if you're not careful, you are a sitting duck.
Yeah.
And so I thought to myself, well, I would never want to sit on the damn control point. I'm sorry. Like, why would I do that and put myself in? And it's not like you're behind cover, obviously. It's a circle. It's in the open area, and it's kind of small. You're sitting like no. So when the teams were hovering around the control point, I was just like, all right, cool. Just line them up. Just come on, keep going. Line them up. All right, you're dead. You're dead. You're dead. You're dead. Cool. Thank you. Give me quick kills. So I think that with Paladins. One thing what I would have preferred was a bigger space so that you have area to move around with. Yes, it makes it more difficult to control and hold down, but that's the beauty. If this is supposed to be objective based and people have their roles and doing your damn job, well, guess what? If you had some folks to help you secure that larger area, then I think it would make it more challenging and fun because Paladins actually came off kind of easy to me to play. I was just like,
Because it's a different mentality.
What do you mean?
I said, it came from different roots. Like it literally, like with it being more of a MOBA sense, it literally is using. It is what people have said about Overwatch being like a MOBA shooter. Like this is legitimately how Paladin started. So there's a lot of artifacts left over, but smaller. I'm not 100% fluent in like MOBA terms, so I'm not sure exactly how things carry over. But like I said, understanding like roles and things also from the MOBA perspective can help a lot because again, your objective, like in the objective game mode, the objective is small. That's because front lines have a crap ton of health. They're supposed to sit on point.
Yeah.
Damage, you hover around the point as damage.
Right.
What you did. By your example,
Flanks.
you did it perfectly.
Oh yeah, I also noticed like quite a bit of objective time on that scoreboard. I'm proud of you for that.
Yeah.
But
they made it easy. Like literally, I killed them all, and I was like, "Shit, I guess I can stand here now." Okay, cool. You want some of this candy? I got you. Fam. Like it was easy.
But you're also like in the starting days before you're getting match made against actual people.
Okay.
So I mean,
Point taken.
There is a bit of a skill-based mechanic to, or at least I'm speculating that there is a bit of skill-based mechanics to Paladin's matchmaking.
There is.
Just from the fact that since I've started playing, I'm getting matched up with a lot more ranked people.
Yeah. The purple and blue
out
the masters and grandmaster outlines.
Yeah. I'm starting to encounter a lot more of them. But no, like I said, damage, you are a satellite around the point, harassing people to a degree. Supports, they make sure the front line first is staying alive. Flanks, the flank was the hardest thing to wrap my head around because the way they originally described the bonuses for flanks didn't actually make sense for shooters. Because flanks were literally territorial kills, basically. If you killed an enemy in their territory before they got to the point, then that was a flank kill.
Yeah.
But with a recent change, they've made it to where it's a killing blow, and in MOBA terms, it is more like your jungler, your harasser. This is the person that actually goes off and just they have movement capabilities to be able to go wherever they need to go and harass people, or go to where they need to go and steal a kill real quick just to make sure your team has the advantage. That's the mentality that a lot of that gets translated a lot over with flank. But yeah, it is definitely a very small control point when you're doing siege. But also, if you want a larger control point, try Onslaught.
Yeah, Onslaught's huge.
Freaking enormous.
Yeah.
But the bad thing is, that's not even really in the objective game mode. That's more of their deathmatch game mode.
Yeah.
To a degree.
As long as you have somebody on the point, you can kill it too. Yeah.
Think Control in Destiny now, basically.
Okay.
The point helps, but you don't really need to stand on it.
So so yeah, okay. So I think that's another thing too. So that was the thing that I pointed out, that the control point was small. And I know I've been using this word today, but the word of the day, ladies and gentlemen, is fluid. There were times where I didn't feel like the game was my motion was fluid. Granted, of course, when I'm mouse keyboard, I can spin around and yada yada yada. But I didn't feel like it was loose like I'm used to with Overwatch. Because Overwatch, you can jump around, and there's a lot more give. There's a lot more freedom, mind you. I was still jumping around and stuff, but it seemed more like not stagnated, like
grounded.
Okay, not grounded per se. Think of like staccato in music, where it's like sharp, basically quick end. And basically, I didn't feel like I was falling gracefully, or if you will, I just felt like it was more like abrupt movements with the game of Paladins versus as Victor, than as with like an Overwatch. And that's something that bugged me a little bit, because it just felt funny. I was like, why do I feel like I'm not?
If you want grace, you got to go flank, because flanks have the most of
just
them.
Coming
Go ahead, Des.
Well, like I said, just going from like from how business is coming, like just the control itself does feel a little more. Okay, let's say basically Overwatch characters are more like Bruce Lee, while your Paladins is more like stiff military march type movement, basically.
Yes, there you go. That's yes.
Yeah, and that's a different in just controls and how they're coding like the characters to move and such. But I don't know if that's something that's really going to stick, because again, it's a game that is still beta. It's still pre-release, so there's no telling if that fluidity will get there, or if this movement just will be where they are.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I'd imagine that Paladins want to keep it this way, because I've already seen people want to compare it to Overwatch, and so basically that makes it different in the game. But man, some of these characters, like I swear, there was a Reaper. I saw the Roadhog, and I was just like,
oh yeah.
I mean,
like I said, Androx is the fusion dance result for McCree and Reaper, for sure.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. But, like I think my best game, I had 21 kills, 3 deaths, and 19 assists with a 15 kill streak. And so I was like, okay, And so, like I said, the differences to me have been just the feel of the game. Those are the nuances. But I really do not understand like how Buster can dislike Overwatch and like Paladin so much. Like, it's hot and cold. And so I came up with a theory as to why you don't like Overwatch.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, and you're gonna hate my guts.
I'm about to say, I have a feeling I'm about to be fucking insulted. So.
No, you're not. No, this is. But if anything, you'll wear this proudly. You are a rebel at heart. You've always wanted to go against the status quo, i.e., when you play Destiny, you never play meta. You're like, no, I play auto rifles, and this is what I do. You don't feel like you need to be the part of the meta, because you feel like I can do my own thing and I'll do it well. And I respect that. You have a rebellious attitude. And so I think that translates to a game like Overwatch, where you're like, well, I don't see the point of playing this game. Everybody's jumping on this cock. I don't want to be on it. And then so Paladins is like, oh, I love this game. It's different. It's objective based and all this stuff. And I'm like, yeah, but all the things you point out, I feel like Overwatch does the same thing. So the only thing I can understand, the only thing I can internalize is that you just don't like Overwatch because of how hype Overwatch is and toxic it can be versus something like Paladins, which is more chill and laid back. And so it's not as sexy as hell, but it's a good game. I don't dislike Paladins, but I sat there and thought to myself, why would I pick up and play Paladins when I could just play the same thing on Overwatch and I have, been further along in this game versus having to start over.
Yeah, I can see what you mean. I mean, you said the word toxic, which is what I think that's a big thing too, because there are toxic players, there are toxic people in every community, but I mean,
Overwatch is crazy toxic.
Yeah,
right?
that's what I was gonna say. I've heard Overwatch is like Black Widow, Spider, Venom mixed with Portuguese
acid?
Man of War mixed with acid. Yeah,
Portuguese what?
Man of War.
Okay.
It's
okay. I guess. I mean, but like literally, to me, I literally came away playing Paladin saying, "Dude, it's the same fucking game. Just one company had their own little twist to it, and the other one doesn't. And one's still in beta, the other one's like, we're past that stage. Yes, Paladins may have more characters, but
does it?
I think Paladins have more characters.
I mean,
I could be wrong.
They do have a shit ton of characters. I understand that.
I mean, like I said, I only play with Victor because I only play with Soldier 76. So that's who I'm comfortable and familiar with. I figured I'll go with Victor. And again, it felt like the same. The only thing I did like Victor having grenades because it really felt like a first-person true shooter. Whereas, Soldier, that's one thing he lacks. He doesn't have grenades. He has helix rockets. So, not a grenade, but I mean, it does a little bit more damage than your standard, pew, 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 pew. Mm-hmm. But
also the question is, though, have you strayed anywhere out?
Have you played Drogos?
No, I literally just stick to Victor. When I play Overwatch, Josh, I kid you not, I seriously just don't play any other character unless today is like, it has to be a random day where I'm like, I feel like playing like Lucio today. But that's very far and few in between. Literally, if I play 20 hours of Overwatch, 18 of them is Soldier.
Dude, my time on Overwatch is like, let's say it's 22 hours. It's probably 21 hours of Tracer.
So
you find a character you like and you just stay there.
So that would be Sky, right? Des? Tracer would be Sky?
No, Tracer has no real analog in Paladins.
Okay.
Her blink is on Eevee. Her time bomb is on Sky. Her guns are nowhere in the game.
Oh.
But no. Okay, legitimately though, for your perspective though, I can actually see you being neutral on Paladins just because you're most comfortable with Soldier. But also, and like I said, in my opinion, like the one, because I've said this before, the one character that is definitely has similarity, that has an Overwatch analog, is Victor. He does feel a lot like Soldier.
Yeah.
Slightly different because he has the nade, which I personally like better myself too. I like bouncing nades.
Yes.
I'm the flashbang, I'm the suppressor, I'm the
straight up grenade to blow your ass incidentally.
Exactly. I like that, and I do like when trick shots go right. Pulling the Jordan, off this, off that, around the hoop.
Kobe!
Bam, they're dead. I love those moments. So yeah, that's what attract. But I can definitely see though, like I said, if like your mainstay is Soldier, like I said, Paladins really doesn't have anything to offer you. They have a character you can play well because Victor is very similar. But no, without like straying out too far from Victor, Paladins isn't going to offer you like much different stuff other than slightly different tactics, maybe.
Right.
I mean, is it as polished as Overwatch?
It's a different art style.
So
but like I said, they're actually still in transition because, like I said, it was actually more like Battleborn when it first released in closed beta, and they're still actually transitioning into a team-based shooter.
So, because that was another thing I wanted to bring up too. I felt that, and tell me if you agree with this statement. I felt like Paladins, As far as like the layouts and the shapes are more angular, whereas Overwatch is more spherical.
It's like
Yeah, I'll give you that. Yeah.
If I could use like
there's a lot more
animations-
like no, there's a lot more like sharp edges like in map design and such in Paladins for sure. Yeah.
Look,
Yeah, there's a lot more there's definitely a lot more basically just box and cube shapes just in Paladins in general, where Overwatch does like bring out more rounded edges, more spherical buildings sometimes. So yeah. That's an
Diva.
assessment, I believe.
Especially Diva. But I digress. So honestly, I was going to go in there thinking I was going to hate the game Paladins. I really think I'm going to hate this crap. And it's not that I don't hate it, but it's like, okay. And based off my feedback, you would see that I did play the game and that I have very specific things. It's not like, you're just a cheap Overwatch knockoff. Screw that noise. No, I gave you real specific things that you're like, yeah. I used to be a tester, software. So I went in there with like a different, like, okay, I'm going to pick it apart. I'm going to show you what I like. I'm going to show you what I don't like. I'm going to show you things I were like, I don't know how to feel about that. So for me, Paladins, it's a game that I'm not going to delete it from my PC, but I'm probably not going to play unless like someone on PC says, hey, let's play some Paladins. I'm like, okay, I guess. I mean, cool. Yeah. I mean, but it doesn't scratch anything it doesn't do anything for me, when I have Overwatch. And Overwatch, part of the thing about Overwatch I like is the beauty. And also too, Paladins Paladins also seems darker in colors, whereas Overwatch is more bright and white and like
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
Fun, where Paladin is more dark.
Which is actually hilarious because from a story perspective, which I actually found out, pretty much everyone involved in the alpha for Paladins actually does have a little backstory. But from what I could tell from the backstory, like I said, the visual appearance, Paladins actually does appear visually darker, while Overwatch is a little brighter, a little more peppy. The stories, though, are entirely different.
Good.
Like, Paladins has, like, from where they started Paladins, it's like this wacky, zany, freaking fantasy mixed world. And Overwatch, well, we see the videos and crap on Overwatch, and, like, it's dark history with, like, the Omnic Rising and crap like that.
There's going to be a Netflix series. You know that, right? For Overwatch.
Okay.
I didn't know that. But
I'm going to watch it. I watch Castlevania. I can watch the Overwatch anime.
Overwatch has some great story. I mean, it's Blizzard. They're going to have great story.
It's a shame. It's really a shame that they didn't have a campaign, because I would imagine the campaign would have been sick. Like, and I was talking to this my buddy back here, Black Guy Bronner. We would see me. This guy. And we were both, because he shut up.
They still can't see me. Hold on.
We were playing.
There we go.
Yeah, this guy ain't got no filter. So we were talking about this earlier today, and I said, because he also mentioned the same thing. One of the reasons why he couldn't get into Overwatch, like Titanfall 1, because of the lack of story. And I said, well, there is a story. Well, not lack of story, but like campaign mode. And I said, if Overwatch did a campaign mode, Injustice 2 style, where there's the overall story and you're playing as different characters in different segments, and that's how you learn about the characters, and it comes down to an epic end, I think that would have been sick for Overwatch. Josh, you played Injustice 2, right?
I have not. I played the first one, but not the second one.
But okay, so you understand what I'm talking about, where like there's an overall story, but then you play as different. Every chapter is like a different character.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I think Overwatch could have benefited someone there for a campaign mode, and it would have been sick.
Actually, yeah, that would be pretty legit. But at the same time, somehow, right now, NetherRealm Studios has no equal when it comes to freaking campaigns. Injustice 2 is godlike, and the facial animations in that game, like, to buy it, play it, watch it, I don't care, but my God, it is a gorgeous game.
It is. So that's my feedback for Paladins.
Okay. Josh, real quick before we get going, is there anything outside of gaming that has N64 Josh's attention? Is there a show, a movie, anything, like what outside of Destiny and Nintendo, because you played what was the game you were playing earlier today? I don't want to say it wrong. Splatoon, Splatter, whatever.
Splatoon 2, yeah, the Splatfest for this weekend.
Yeah. What gets you going, man?
Honestly, like I've been trying to get like online business off the ground for about 5 years now, right? And I've tried multiple things. I wrote a book. I'm getting ready to start my second book, and basically the second book even hit me this week. I was talking with a streamer who was just kind of like dealing with some stuff, and literally their response to me was like, man, I wish there was a book for this. And I'm like, well, after reading your tweet, like I got so many ideas for my next book that maybe there will be. And basically, like I wanna come up with something that's like, look, I'm a streamer, now what? Right? I got my sub button, now what? Because the way I look at it is Twitch is an amazing platform, but if unless you get extremely lucky, it's going to be one revenue stream for you, and you've got to get your branding going, right? And you got to get some more irons in the fire, right? And so just kind of look like that's the kind of stuff I've been studying for like the last 5 years. And so I'm basically working on the mental outline in my head right now for my next book. And so I love that kind of stuff. I love just like I really, my goal is to be self-employed. And so I'm constantly like, okay, what can I do? How can I, just always coming up with ideas and things. We took a huge risk last year that failed. Like we lost our butts on something. So like, and I mean, I was working literally 100 hours a week trying to get this thing to take off, and it didn't pan out. And so, because I'm talking like 40 hours my regular job and then 60 minimum on my other stuff. And so that's really it. As far as just like entertainment goes, like I love a good movie. My wife and I, like, we continually go through Game of Thrones. Like we really enjoy that show.
Yep. New season, hype.
Yeah, hype. There's not a lot of like when I like to hustle, man. Like Thursday, like Monday through Thursday, I get about 4 hours of sleep each night, and most of it is because like I'm streaming, I'm working 11-hour days at my regular job, and I'm trying to balance family time on top of that. So like to just sit in front of a TV and just watch something, I can't be doing that. Like we record 2 podcasts a week. Like I just keep busy. You know what I mean? Like,
you have kids?
And I have 4 kids. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
How do you don't sleep, bro?
No, I don't.
You
it's
just
probably
said,
gonna.
man,
I'm
4
probably
hours.
I'm probably gonna die really, really young, and you know,
I'm burning the candles. I'm burning it bright.
yeah, I'm burning at both ends something fierce.
And
so
in the middle.
but yeah, like, you know, my youngest, my 11-year-old daughter, she just started a character this week on Destiny, and she is hooked, and she loves PvP. Like, she loves it. And
wait till you teach her how to teabag.
she asked me. She's like, "Hey, Dad, why do these guys keep stepping over my body and then bouncing up and down?" I'm like,
You got that to talk.
son of a. You know, so yeah, there was there was that, but then but I'm like, "Hey, sweetie, hit Y and pull out a sniper." She literally pulls out a sniper, pulls the trigger and shoots a guy right in the face. Like, it was a shot I couldn't have made. I don't think anybody could have made, but she no-scopes this guy from like a doorway. And I'm like, do you even know what you did? She's like, no, did I hit a guy? I'm like, yes, you hit a guy.
He's a god. He's a god.
So,
hey, tell her to carry me in trials, please.
Right, exactly. So, I mean, I do a lot, like, you know, right this time of year, I'm up in Washington. We got like our fire pit and whatnot. So we'll go outside.
State or DC?
Washington State, about an hour north of Seattle. And so we'll do like our fire pit, maybe roast some dogs, do some marshmallows, and then sit out in the recliners with our DSs and you know, just hang out outside until like the stars end up. And then we love looking at the stars and stuff. So like, it's all about, because I've had a lot of people tell me like, how do you do so much? Like, how do you get? And it's all about just being very, like, you just have your time prioritized. Like, I got family time. Like, my phone's gonna get plugged into my room, and I'm not gonna be staring at Twitter, right? You know what I mean? Like, because you got to be there when you're there. And so when I'm there, I'm there, and when I'm working, I'm working. And so, and my wife's got her own side hustle now that she's working on. So, like, the reason I could stream 15 hours yesterday is because my wife took a couple of my kids and went out to her sister's to work on what she's doing. And I got my kids here. My oldest son, he's streaming and working on stuff. My daughter she's even working on stuff that she's doing. And then, when it comes to mealtime, like, I'm cooking their meals, we're hanging out, we're conversing. Back at it again. You know what I mean? Like, it's a grind, but like, it's the only way you're going to get there. It's the only way you're going to get there.
So I imagine that you're allergic to sleep.
Dude, I mean, I love it. I love it. But last night, like 12:30 hit, and I was like, oh, I should really go to bed. And then I got raided by Satisfied Curve. Like, she brought like 30 viewers over, and I was like, oh, she's such a sweetie. So, like, here, I'm like, well, okay, another hour and a half at least, and get some more follows, get some more people having conversation with, and boom, okay, it's 2:30. All right, I better hit the hay. Oh, that Castlevania's on. So I watched an episode of that and then finally crashed. Hit my eyes closed at 3. 8:30. I was up, get the coffee, get the stream going. Let's go, boys.
That Castlevania is so good, right?
From what I watched, yeah, that first episode.
Good. It's only 4 episodes. I got into it. I was good. I was like, yes, it's over. What the fuck happened? What happened? I'm looking around like, what's going on? Because I watched it this week when I got home, because I got home from work, doing 12s at 6 a.m. And if night shift, we don't go to sleep like normal people. We sleep when the sun's up, and for me, it's like I can't go to sleep right when I get home from work. I have to like kind of woosah and relax. So I just watch an episode, and I'm like, that's only like 23 minutes. I'll watch another one. And then
I watched 2 last night. Then
yeah, they're short, and you don't even realize that they have like it just Netflix is real good for that binging. It just starts, and you're like, what episode is this? 7.
Right,
man.
Right. What happened?
Yeah, exactly. But I was gonna say, between you and Young Khan, shout outs to you. I love that the grind and the hustle mentality of the Destiny community. Because I mean, you're about. What was your first book about? Just a side question.
It's called The Strategy Guide to Full-Time Streaming, and you can. I got links and stuff. It's for sale at 0+ pricing, meaning I'll give it away. If I'd rather have the information in people's hands than trying to make a profit on it at this point. And so it basically it lays out like putting together a stream team, your attitude going into this, how it's like this is not like this. There's not some like get rich quick scheme here. Like you're gonna work your ass off, and there's no other way around it. Period. Like that's it. And so, I've had certain people that read it and they're like, dude, this book changed my life. I mean, it's an audio and I recorded the audio of it and it's also a PDF. I think you can find it on like the lootcave.com. If you just go to the homepage there and scroll down, it's right there. And so it'll take you to the spot. But yeah, I mean, you can throw a couple bucks at it or you can pick it up for free, because I would rather it just be in people's hands so that they start grinding. Because maybe it's not streaming, maybe it's a podcast, maybe it's a YouTube channel. Maybe it really doesn't matter. Like the focus is streaming, but it's about your attitude and the mentality going into something, and like basically like setting goals, looking at the sacrifices you're gonna have to make those goals a reality, and then getting to work and doing it. So that's kind of the gist of the first book. But I kind of want to go past it and be like, okay, so maybe this happened. I mean, a lot of people got affiliated and they're like, sweet, I'm going to become full time. And then it's like, well, you got 20 subs. That's $50 a month. Like what? how are you going to go full time on that? Like, you got to keep growing that audience, and you got to come up with ways to monetize that aren't slimy and gross, and what a lot, that are not going to make your audience hate you because you're trying to sell them on stuff that's no good. So basically that's kind of what I want to tackle, because I don't really see anybody doing that. Everybody looks at the big guys and goes, okay, this is the goal, this is the dream. Well, no, it isn't necessarily the goal. Every one of those people that have made it, they'll tell you, I'm lucky. That's what they say. I'm lucky, right? Well, okay, cool. Let's luck is definitely a factor in everything, right? I've said this a few different times. I can't remember who came up with the quote, but basically the definition of luck is persistence meeting opportunity. So that means you're constantly grinding so that when opportunity comes, boom, you're there, ready to walk through that door. But maybe there's some things you do that aren't necessarily just for luck, that you can make work in your favor. And so I want to look at some of those things, and again, but not without being like slimy internet stuff, because that's a lot of times, as soon as you say internet business, people are like, oh great, what pyramid scheme are you talking about, or what lame affiliate links are you going to try to sell me on? And that's not it doesn't always have to be the case. It can be you can offer products maybe that you create yourself, right? There's ways to do that, so that are good and that are actually helpful and add value to people's lives. Awesome. That's it. That's where I'm at, baby.
I like it. Cool. You mentioned 2 podcasts. Since we're about to sign off, why don't you tell everybody about those, where they can find you, where they can find it? Yeah, so stuff. I mean, thelootcave.com is the home of everything. And that is all thanks to Mark Turcott from Guardian Radio. He was like, hey, get your branding together, yo. So I did. And then I realized I started branding my name as well, so I got a little conflict of interest. But we're slowly getting it. But yeah, thelootcave.com. We have the Lootcast. It's a Destiny podcast. We interview members of the community. We talk Destiny. My co-host is he's an awesome dude that likes to get salty, and so I like to be the yin to the yang, and it's a good time for sure. And then we have the Nintendo Powercast, where we talk about Nintendo, and also interview people in those communities, like the Mario Maker community on Twitch and things like that, and just reaching out to different people and just growing that and hearing their stories, because I think one of the coolest things with gaming is everybody's got memories, right? Everybody's got nostalgia. So you start talking Nintendo and everybody has something that they're like, oh, I remember Mario or whatever, right? And so I love hearing that kind of stuff, and so that's kind of what that's about. And then if you guys want to follow me on Twitter, it's just at N64Josh, and really everywhere is N64Josh. Twitter, Instagram, Farmers Only, MySpace, Facebook, all the above. So Farmers Only.
You can find us on all those places. So that's that. Thanks so much for having me, guys.
Oh, dude, thanks for coming on. You have an open invitation. I don't think there has been a guest yet that hasn't gotten an open invitation back, because the community is so fucking awesome.
And, I had some goals. Just they're like so the goal is to not get invited back. Like, you suck.
You're too much of a positive, awesome dude to not be invited back.
Too much. Yeah, you're talking about that glass half full, baby. That's just room for vodka.
Yeah, that's. Hey, man.
John, no, it's actually a good thing you're here, considering the circumstances. I'm normally the positive guy, if you can believe it.
You're just a wee bit sleepy, laddie.
Oh, yeah. It's a bad day to catch me, for sure.
Well, Des, why don't you tell everybody where they can find you?
Going out of order, screw you. This is your boy, Raven, and you can follow me on Twitter at DES_Raven. I'm not, going to be plugging anything else for a while, but that's the thing. But actually, speaking of books, I've started dabbling in writing again, which might actually become like an audio format type deal on YouTube at some point in time. If I actually ever finish anything this time around. If.
Do it.
It's a big if. I've written this book started writing this book about 4 times in my life.
Well, now's the time to do it.
Yeah, but every time is.
That's true as well. Go ahead, Biz.
It's the main man, the Businessman 24. You can find me on Twitter at businessman_DRP. You can find me on Twitch, twitch.tv/businessman24.
Give a shout out to your boy in the back.
And this is my boy here, D Ninja, aka Black Guy Bronner.
Hello, everybody. Yeah, what's up, everybody?
We're on camera. And I'm Buster Knuckle. You can find me on Twitter, BusterKnuckle13. That's BusterKnuckle13.
Black Guy Bronner in the house.
Black Guy Bronner has some shit to say. You can find me on Twitch, twitch.tv/Buster_Knuckle, and on YouTube, just search Buster Knuckle. You'll find me. I slacked on the workout vlog, but that's just because of real life kicking my ass, and I'm getting back on it. And you can find this podcast, the RngCast, on Twitter at the RngCast, Instagram at the RngCast. You can email us, the RngCast@gmail.com. Twitch, you're watching it now, but if you're not, twitch.tv/the RngCast. You can support us on Patreon, patreon.com/the RngCast. And I think that's it. Am I missing anything, guys?
Yeah, who's our top tier patrons that helps us?
Oh, that would be Average Joe. That would be the Berg. I know am I missing one? I think
Known as Alex.
Known as Alex. That's right. I need to write that down before every episode. Also, thanks to Willis, Bazooka, Joe, and Converse. Also, Converse.
Oh God.
He signed up for the 3. He signed up to get the stuff early. That's what he did.
My God,
so shouts to you guys. We appreciate it. If you want to support us, feel free. If not, we're still here. And
I'm still in stunned silence over Converse.
Yeah.
That's too much.
With that being said, this is the 61st episode of the RngCast. N64 Josh, thanks for coming on. Go to lootcave.com, get that book.
Thank you so much for having me. Appreciate it.
We're out.
Later, man.
See ya.
See you all next week.